taking it to the rack here. Tiffany Hayes taking it to the rack on Caitlin Clark. Starts clapping in Caitlin Clark's face. Takes it to the rack on Caitlin Clark. Starts clapping in Caitlin Clark's face. Jaws at her right at.
Watch that body language carefully. Tiffany Hayes just scored on Caitlin Clark, and she's not just celebrating, she's clapping directly in Clark's face, jawing at her immediately after. This is the 3-minute mark of the first quarter, and Hayes is making a statement. She's 4 for 4 at this point, feeling herself, and she wants Clark to know it. But here's what Hayes didn't understand in that moment. When you wake up Caitlin Clark, when you make it personal, you better be ready to back it up for the next 37 minutes. Because what happened after this exchange is a masterclass in why you don't start fights you can't finish.
You're damn right, Christy. You are damn right. What did she say here?
I just tried to keep her spirits. I mean, the thing she said was, hey, coach, they woke a monster.
They woke a monster. Yeah, they woke the monster. they woke demon time, Caitlin Clark. They woke up. Oh, fuck all this.
Christy Sides heard it on the sideline. Coach, they woke a monster. That's what Clark said after Hayes got in her face. Not that was disrespectful or I'm frustrated. No, she told her coach that the Valkyries just made a massive tactical error. And the thing about Caitlin Clark is this. She plays better angry. Not out of control, not emotional in a way that hurts her game. Angry in a way that sharpens her focus to a razor's edge. She goes from great player to absolutely ruthless. Hayes thought she was getting in Clark's head. What she actually did was flip a switch that Golden State had no answer for.
Here we go. We got Caitlin Clark. Tiffany Hayes. Oh, okay. Oh, that's what we're doing here? Oh, okay, bet. Let me shake my head. Yeah. Oh. Now look at this. Oh. I got Tiffany Hayes guarding me. At this point, Caitlin Clark is just seeing red. At this point, Caitlin Clark is just seeing red. Oh, it's kill time. It's kill time. Up. Easy money.
Look at Clark's reaction here. Hayes is on her again, and Clark just shakes her head with this look that says, okay, bet. That's not frustration, that's anticipation. She knows what's about to happen. She's already seen this movie before, probably 100 times in college when defenders tried to physically intimidate her. The Valkyries' entire defensive strategy was to be overly physical with Clark, to rough her up, to try and knock her off her game. It's not a bad strategy on paper, that's how you defend elite scorers. Get in their space, make them uncomfortable, force them into tough shots. But there's a difference between executing a physical defensive game plan and making it personal. Hayes crossed that line. And once you cross it with Clark, you can't uncross it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, this isn't what you want. This is, oh, the tongue comes out. This isn't what you want, Tiffany Hayes. This isn't what you want. You want her calm and reserved. You don't want her fired up, because the next thing you know, you're going to be getting put on a poster after Caitlin Clark pulls up, splash right in your damn mouth. Bang!
Logo 3, right in Tiffany Hayes' face. And watch what Clark does after she releases it. She doesn't just shoot and celebrate. She takes an extra step and a half directly toward Hayes. She lands, takes 2 more steps in Hayes' direction, just so Hayes can feel her presence. That's not accidental. That's calculated intimidation. This is the moment the game shifted. Clark hit that shot from 28 feet with Hayes draped all over her, and then she made sure Hayes knew exactly what just happened. Me and you, game on. That's what that body language is communicating. Hayes started this war at the 3-minute mark. Clark just declared she's going to finish it.
Let me get into my bag work on Tiffany Hayes. Hold up. Oh, you don't think I got this? Oh, yeah, I do. Step back. Kobe. Yeah, with your weak-ass defense. I'm telling you, Tiffany Hayes, Tiffany, let him know, Christy.
I just tried to keep her spirits.
Let her know.
The thing she said was,
Step back, Kobe. That's a shot that has no business going in with a defender that close. But Clark makes it look effortless. And notice what's happening to Hayes' defense now. She's reaching. She's off balance. She's reacting instead of dictating. That's what happens when a player gets in your head. Remember, Hayes started this game 4 for 4. Perfect shooting. She was feeling unstoppable. But from the moment Clark hit that logo 3 and stared her down, Hayes went 1 for 9 the rest of the way. 1 for 9. That's not a coincidence. That's not just good defense. That's a complete mental collapse. Hayes shot 30% after talking trash to someone who responds to trash talk by dropping 22 points on you.
No questions? I'll ask.
They're pissed. They're hit. Tip, before she even sat down, they're never going to start the call. They're never going to start calling the fouls on her. If they did, she would never get to play the game. And this goes both ways. If you're going to be doing this, if you're going to be doing this on offense with the forearm, don't complain. If you're going to be doing this on defense, grabbing and scratching and clawing, don't complain. You guys were being very physical with her. She was being physical back. Neither of you guys should complain, because I thought the refs let you guys play, kind of.
Now we get to the post-game press conference, and this is where it gets really telling. Hayes walks in angry before she even sits down. They're never going to start calling the fouls on her. If they did, she would never get to play the game. Let's unpack that statement. Hayes is upset about the officiating, claiming Clark gets away with fouls. But here's the problem with that argument. It works both ways. The Valkyries were grabbing, scratching, and bodying Clark all game long. That was their defensive strategy. The referees let both teams play physical basketball. Clark had 5 fouls called on her, including a flagrant, so the refs weren't ignoring contact. They were allowing both teams to be physical. What Hayes is really saying here is we tried to rough her up and it didn't work, so now I'm mad the refs didn't bail us out. That's not a legitimate complaint. That's frustration that your game plan failed spectacularly.
I thought they let you guys both play. Until like the last 2.5 minutes where they're calling ticky-tack fouls and we're going back and forth shooting free throws, but I thought they let you guys both play. They let you impede her freedom of movement. And in return, they let her do some forearm action. Don't cry about it, Tip, because you started again. You started the war. You started the fight. But you couldn't finish it. So don't be mad when it gets finished on the other end.
If you're going to be doing this on offense with the forearm, don't complain. If you're going to be doing this on defense, grabbing and scratching and clawing, don't complain. That's the key point. The Valkyries wanted to play physical basketball. They initiated the physicality. They made it rough, and when Clark matched that physicality and then dominated them anyway, they complained about the officiating. You can't have it both ways. You can't grab and hold and push all game, then cry foul when the other team does the same thing and beats you. Hayes went into that press conference looking for sympathy, looking to control the narrative, but the tape doesn't lie. She started 4 for 4, talked trash, got absolutely posterized by a logo 3, and then collapsed. 7 for 13 shooting when you started 4 for 4 means you went 3 for 9 the rest of the game. That's a 33% shooting performance after you woke up the monster.
Bad when it gets finished on the other end. You started it. Don't be mad that somebody else finished it. She's pissed. She got postered on by a logo 3, then got punked. She ain't never gonna be her. Jealousy is a bitch. Flopping ass. Oh, damn. I know her flopping ass ain't trying that gimmick. Sheesh. Yeesh. Valk salty tears. I love it. Paco.
Here's what makes this entire situation so significant. This wasn't just one game, one moment, one exchange between 2 players. This is a microcosm of how teams have tried to defend Caitlin Clark since she entered the WNBA, and how that strategy keeps backfiring. The Valkyries' game plan was clear from the opening tip. Be physical with Clark, try to frustrate her, get in her head, make her uncomfortable. It's the same strategy teams used against her at Iowa, and it's the same strategy that failed there too. Because Clark doesn't shrink from physicality, she thrives in it. She doesn't get rattled by trash talk, she uses it as fuel. Tiffany Hayes thought she was executing the game plan. Score on Clark early, talk some trash, establish dominance, make her think twice about attacking. That's textbook veteran move. But what Hayes didn't account for is that Clark has seen this playbook 1,000 times. She knows exactly what's happening, and she knows exactly how to respond. The moment Hayes clapped in Clark's face after that early basket, she gave Clark permission to make this game personal. And when you make it personal with an elite competitor, you better be ready for what comes next. Clark didn't just respond with one shot. She systematically dismantled Hayes for the rest of the game. That logo 3 wasn't just a great shot. It was a message. You want to make this about me and you? Okay, let's go. And then Clark backed it up possession after possession. Step back jumpers. Drives to the rim. Assists to open teammates when the defense collapsed on her. She didn't just score, she controlled the entire game. Hayes ended up with 7 points on 7 for 13 shooting. That's not a terrible stat line in isolation. But when you start 4 for 4 and finish 3 for 9, when you go from perfect to 33% after talking trash, that tells a story. That's a player who lost her confidence, who got in her own head, who couldn't recover from being embarrassed. And the post-game press conference made it worse. Instead of acknowledging that Clark outplayed her, instead of giving credit where credit is due, Hayes blamed the officials. She claimed the refs let Clark get away with fouls. But the tape shows both teams playing physical basketball. The refs called it consistently. Clark just happened to dominate within that physical style of play. This is the problem with trying to intimidate elite players. If it doesn't work, if they respond by elevating their game, you're left looking foolish. And if you compound that by complaining afterward, you look even worse. Hayes had an opportunity to take the high road, to say she played great, we'll get them next time. Instead, she made excuses. The Valkyries as a team have struggled to guard Caitlin Clark throughout her rookie season. They don't have a defensive answer for her combination of shooting range, ball handling, and court vision. So they resort to physicality, hoping that will slow her down. But physicality without a coherent defensive scheme is just fouling. And when the refs let both teams play physical, that strategy falls apart. What makes this game particularly instructive is how clearly it demonstrates the difference between playing hard defense and trying to intimidate someone. Hard defense is about positioning, effort, communication, and execution. Intimidation is about getting in someone's head, making them uncomfortable, disrupting their rhythm. The Valkyries tried intimidation. Clark responded by dropping 22 points and controlling the game. Natalie Achonwa said before the game that she had Clark figured out. She talked about how she would defend her differently this year, how she knew what to expect. But Clark was dealing with injuries last year. This year, healthy and confident, she's a different player. All that film study, all that preparation, it didn't matter. Clark still got her numbers. That's the thing about great players, they adjust. You can't figure them out and expect that solution to work forever. They watch film too, they see what you're doing, they make counter-adjustments. Clark saw the Valkyries' physical approach and said, okay, I'll match that and still beat you. That's elite-level mentality. So where does this leave us? Tiffany Hayes started a fight she couldn't finish. She talked trash to one of the most competitive players in basketball, got posterized, and then collapsed down the stretch. The Valkyries lost the game, and Hayes' post-game comments made her look like someone making excuses rather than owning the loss. If you're a defender trying to guard Caitlin Clark, take notes. Physicality alone won't work. Trash talk will backfire. You need a complete defensive scheme, you need help defense, you need to make her uncomfortable without giving her extra motivation. Because if you wake up that monster, if you give her a reason to take it personally, you're going to end up on the wrong end of a highlight reel. The question now is whether other teams will learn from Golden State's mistake. Will they continue trying to rough up Clark and hope the refs bail them out, or will they develop actual defensive strategies that account for her skill set? Because this game proved once again that you can't intimidate greatness, you can only make it angry. And angry Caitlin Clark is the last thing any defense wants to face. So what do you think? Did Tiffany Hayes make a mistake by getting in Clark's face early, or was that the right approach that just didn't work out? And should teams keep trying to play physical with Clark, or is it time to admit that strategy isn't working? Let me know in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed the breakdown, and subscribe because we're going to keep analyzing these matchups all season long.